is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lord. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
Dearest Mother, I have received your care package of pickled fox thumbs and fresh squirrel oil. The posse of cowboys inches closer by the day. Scouts have yet to see them, but can smell their barbecue and hear their whooping. We continue to drill and prepare. Focused. Andrew. Nothing says big game like pickled fox thumbs and fresh squirrel oil, and that's what the Cowboys encounter on Sunday at noon Dallas time against the Indianapolis Colts. And welcome to Talking Cowboys.
Nothing better than Captain Andrew Luck. Is it Captain?
Captain Andrew Luck kicks us off here.
That was just for you, Mick.
Not Colonel or
No, he's a captain. He's a
Andrew
captain.
Luck.
Yeah, he's a captain in this
That's
one.
exactly right. Soldier, Colt, simple man.
Simple man.
Marching.
Yeah.
Captain Andrew Luck.
How many times do you think he gets asked about that?
Oh, I bet a lot. It's been around for a while. It's just been 4 years since the Cowboys played Captain Andrew.
Yeah,
Luck
it has
the
been a
Colts,
while.
and so we can
Clinched the division last time you played this same way. right?
42-7. In
Yeah.
fact,
That was-
it was
that's right.
Hasselbeck who finished that game.
That was
Andrew Luck,
Yeah, it was a
gone
beating.
after.
Yeah, it was a beating. That was an.
Remember that
absolute
game
They
at
knocked him out of
AT&T
the game?
Stadium?
beating. No, they pulled him.
Pulled him.
Yeah, they pulled him out of that game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was the game when, and I remember the linebacker, Anthony Hitchens. Anthony Hitchens was playing really well his rookie year. And he,
Yes, because Sean Lee was out.
Sean Lee, and they was banged up. And
Sean Lee was out.
Yeah, imagine that. In fact, he was out the whole year that year.
We'll get to it, Mickey. You'll get to a scouting report about him today. But I remember that because Anthony Hitchens was a pregame decision whether he was going to go or not. And I mean, he could barely walk, and then he played that game, and he was incredible.
It was total domination that day.
It was total
what I
domination.
remember.
It
Yep.
sure was. They couldn't stop you there. Hopefully that'll be the same thing happening this time around.
Well, in the previous time, they faced not Andrew Luck, but Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. Their last trip to Indianapolis, they needed Sean Lee on that day.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
They did. It was a
Coming out party.
It sort of was.
Did Des Bryant break his ankle in that game? It was on a kickoff return that we were in Indianapolis. Was that the
Rookie
game?
year for Des.
Yeah, rookie year that he fractured his ankle, I want to say, on a kickoff return.
I remember nothing about that game other than that was part of.
How about this?
That was part of the Jason Garrett interim term where they did a really nice job for him. I mean, that was.
I'm sure Kent is going to look that up for me. I think Des Bryant broke his ankle that game.
And that was against
fractured his ankle.
That was against a pretty average Colts team too.
Peyton Manning
They had Peyton Manning, but they weren't very good that year.
got intercepted twice by Sean Lee. One return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Was that in overtime?
Bunch of old men trying to push. Sorry, Rob.
Pushing it now.
Yeah, I'm trying to remind you guys of broken ankles. We're talking about overtime games.
Well,
I thought
It might have been.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure did. See, that's the hard thing about, when you play these quarterbacks like the Peyton Mannings and the Drew Breeses and the Tom Bradys and stuff, you usually tend to remember the game a little bit better.
Yep.
Because you remember, oh, wow, remember when we're at the Superdome and Damian Wilson's late on the field and they run the wheel route and Drew Brees finds,
yeah.
I mean, you remember games
Or
like
the 51-48 against Peyton Manning and the Broncos here.
exactly.
5 years ago.
Remember all the Aaron Rodgers games. You forget the other games when guys weren't very good playing.
Have you found it yet?
I haven't really
Like
looked
the
that
date?
closely.
Yeah.
Like the date they played.
He's looking at more
Two.
Captain Andrew Luck tweets.
They are the best.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Somebody needs to put together a Leighton Vander Esch Twitter like that.
I mean,
Wouldn't that be funny?
This is going
like
back to your,
going
hunter,
back
like the
a
hunter.
wolf
hunter,
wolves.
a wolf hunter.
I'm in the woods. It's the snow,
Wouldn't it be great
the snow
even
is
this
fall-
week
Yeah.
having one where the Cowboys are making their way with their pack of wolves to Indianapolis to take
There you
on
go.
Captain Andrew Luck?
You
this
might-
goes back to that fake Leighton character that's on local radio.
That's
that
right.
You love
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah,
where he's
that's
a
right.
simple man, simple wolf hunter man.
That's right.
Pretty good bit.
Saw an airplane for the first time, and you'd only seen the things flying in the air were like birds, eagles, and stuff, and there's these mechanical objects that are flying in the air.
So stupid. It doesn't get better than General Andrew Luck.
No, it doesn't.
Nick, you need to start following him.
Captain Andrew Luck.
Captain Luck.
Captain Luck.
Captain Luck.
Captain Andrew Luck. Okay, so do you have
Did go overtime.
Yeah.
well,
38-35.
Wow, high scoring affair. I thought high scoring affairs only started happening this year in the NFL.
And who beat Peyton Manning? John Kitna.
John Kitna at
18 of
quarterback.
26 for all of 167 yards and 1 touchdown.
All right, did you answer the question about Dez Bryant? Does it show in your box score that he left the game with a
He only
fractured
caught
ankle?
one pass for 14
yeah,
yards.
Could be then.
Yeah.
And guess who was the leading rusher?
Tashard Choice, my man, Tashard Choice at 100 yards rushing against the Colts in 2010. Good
God,
19
Choice.
carries for 100 yards and a touchdown for Tashard.
Didn't know he was your guy.
And the
He was.
workhorse.
Oh, yeah, he was.
The
Not
workhorse
as a
was
fourth
Felix
round draft.
Jones, 22 carries for 83 yards.
In fact, they came out in the same year, the same draft. Felix Jones, your first round pick, and I was much more excited about Tashard in the 4th round. Yeah. You know why I like Tashard?
What's that?
Because of a locker room speech he gave at Georgia Tech.
Oh, the Georgia Tech, the Chan Gailey administration.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, that's the kind of guys you need on your team. Now he's a running backs coach at University of North Texas.
There you go.
Yep.
Good
Right.
guy.
They had 4 interceptions of Peyton Manning.
Wow, Peyton Manning had a game like that once?
He threw. Is he not accurate?
Not accurate.
4 interceptions.
He also had 365 yards passing,
Yeah,
36 out of 48.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
calculates
exactly.
to about 75% accuracy
Exactly.
right there. All right, so you mentioned Sean Lee. We have an update on Sean Lee.
Mickey, you have a report there?
Mickey's he's on the internet instead of
Limited.
Limited.
But he had pads on. He was out there practicing.
Yeah.
That's right. This is Thursday. Wednesday was the first
Yeah,
practice.
we've
Right.
already gone by Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anybody feel good, bad, indifferent about that whole thing? The fact that he was practicing, I think, is a
Okay,
good thing.
good. That's good. Yeah.
Feel any way about that one, Mick?
I still want to see if they really going to play him after one padded practice.
Play him as far as
In the game.
dress him in this game.
Yes.
Was he the only one in pads?
Tavon Austin was.
What do you mean?
Was it the only
No,
one?
everybody else was just had their jerseys on, and they put him in pads.
He probably went out there. And
I wouldn't be
Bill,
surprised.
let's get with it here.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Lee's reputation that he would be the only one out there with
pads on.
yeah.
Absolutely no. But
It's not raining, and he was out there in full uniform.
I think if he practices all week, that's a good sign. But I think they've put themselves in position where, yes, you need to go and win this game and go ahead and wrap up this division. But if he's not 100%, then you don't push it this week, especially given the fact that this is the second time he's hurt this thing.
Yeah,
When does-
how many times has he come back and then?
when does he play then?
Next week.
I mean,
Saying if there's any doubt
But if they
this
have
week,
clinched,
you don't do it.
yeah,
how many weeks has he missed?
Since the Tennessee game.
6.
and he didn't
Yeah.
play the whole Tennessee game.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Got to
That's a
play,
long
don't
time.
we? Don't we got to play?
Got to play, but you got to be ready to play.
Wow.
From a physical standpoint, and I think they'll make that decision because if he gets enough work, maybe
don't you think
I don't
he's-
think you save him just to save him.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if there's any doubt.
I don't think anybody was accusing you of that.
No, I don't mean that. And I
No,
don't
no, I mean, yeah.
And I don't mean if there's any doubt. Even if there's no doubt, sometimes they don't put guys out right away. But if they feel like he's ready to go, then all right.
Because
send him out there.
we've gotten fan questions saying, well, why don't you just bubble wrap him because you're probably going to make the playoffs.
Sure.
Well, don't you want the third seed?
That's what I'm saying. You need to try to win games right now.
Yes.
You haven't won anything.
No.
What are the chances of the Bears losing 2 then? I don't mean to derail the Bears, make it Bears talk, but
What's their schedule again?
Green Bay, San Francisco,
Green Bay, and then
Minnesota,
they're on the road.
Minnesota.
For those last two, and they're 3-3 in road games right now.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of see where Mickey's not kind of. I'm with Mickey on this. I'm trying to get the 3rd seed. I'm trying to, but am I going to lose the war because I'm trying to win a battle?
But they're not shutting it down for the Tampa Bay game. I mean, even if they win this week, they're not shutting it down. They're going to keep it going, and they'll shut it down the last week.
I mean, that's what those
which
guys,
will be like a bye week before the playoffs.
Those guys just asked me, Philadelphia has to go with their backup quarterback, and Washington's got this and this. Should they just shut everybody down the rest of the way? And I'm going, they hadn't won anything yet.
Yeah.
But if we're getting ahead of ourselves here, and let's say they win Sunday, they are not going to rest people for 2 straight weeks prior to. I mean, you got to keep this thing going.
I mean, I just
can't
think
be
back
afraid of injuries.
There was a rust factor to me in that Green Bay game.
2 weeks off before that, right?
Yeah.
Basically, they didn't play anybody against the Eagles that final game of your major players, and then you had the bye because you were the number 1 seed, and then so you basically didn't play a game for 2 weeks.
And nothing kicked in till the second half.
That's right. You fell behind, and
the most I do is if everything's said and done in that last game, I'll give them the second half off. I'm playing. Zeke might sit.
Okay. If you're going to sit Zeke, who else do you have to sit?
Game,
You sit Martin. I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying.
I think so.
I totally.
From a physical standpoint,
this team has played playoff games since week 8. Right. I mean, think about it. They have played a playoff game since week 8. You've got yourself in position to win this division now. But at what expense do you? I mean, I'm with you guys. Keep playing. And I've said it earlier. The teams that have had to battle through to get in the playoffs are usually the teams that are best prepared in the playoffs. This team's had to battle, but can you afford to play without Zach Martin? In the playoffs, or can you afford to play without Ezekiel Elliott?
No.
Nope.
So when you start to draw the line of he doesn't play. Well, who else?
Yeah.
Who else?
That's my argument.
Yeah. You sit Lawrence.
Tyron Smith's had something.
You sit Van Der Esch.
Yeah.
You sit Jalen Smith. You sit Byron Jones. Where do you draw the line?
And the other part of that is you don't have enough players to play a game if you sit too many guys.
Well, that's true.
And then somebody puts their hand up in the air and goes, Coach, how come I got to play?
Because everybody here at December 13th has something right now. Mm-hmm. Nobody's 100%.
That's well said.
I mean, the injury report is 10 guys.
Yeah.
But there's somebody's got something, some bruise.
It's
bump.
funny how magical the injury report turns into nobody when you get in the playoffs.
Super Bowl week.
Everybody, Super Bowl week.
Is it like
no
there's
injury?
there's nobody?
Mickey was a pool reporter. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
Mickey report injuries. No injuries today. Everybody practiced. And when you get in the playoffs, everybody wants to be on deck. They don't want to. That's why guys like Austin and those, they're pushing. They're pushing to be a part of something like being a playoff game.
He told us yesterday with his groin injury. I think he said torn off the bone.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And he could have had surgery, but he had wrist surgery last year. He didn't want to do that again.
Yeah,
it was.
Just let it heal.
I was told it was very similar to what
Terrence Newman
took place with Terrence Newman.
Yeah.
And remember, Newman didn't have surgery.
Right.
Mo Claiborne did, and he really didn't get back.
Never got back.
And so that's why they were leaning towards no surgery.
Yeah.
When I think the dude in Philadelphia wanted to do surgery.
Yeah.
When he went and saw the specialist.
Yep, that's true. Good memory there.
From what I think I remember, it was like if you go see him, you better bring your overnight bag because you're having surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a fixer.
Yeah.
The guys in Philly's a fixer. He's a fixer.
So
the guys in Washington can't do anything with what's going on with there. I don't mean to derail the show there.
No.
But Washington is what's another
Josh Johnson.
No, another staph infection or something going
for real?
on.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. The Darius Geis. He's got something wrong with it. Had to go in and do something again to his knee because of an infection.
And
wow. So Alex Smith
And Alex Smith. Something's going on.
I'm not one to question
Maybe they're not
it.
going to Walter Reed Hospital there.
I'm not one to question infections.
Yeah, Mickey's been down that road.
No, I'm just I trust me. I love doctors, nurses. I love everybody. I mean, but that's unusual what's going on there. But yeah.
I thought you meant with the quarterback situation.
No.
Which, by the way, they're going to start Johnson.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson.
You know, when was the last time
week,
he started?
No.
He started one game since 2010.
Yeah.
It was against the Cowboys.
No, that part I don't know.
Bring it back here.
One game since 2010.
And he was playing last week.
Madden.
He was playing Madden.
Well, did you hear what he said?
I did not.
He was trying to get to know his team, and he was watching them on Madden.
Yeah, but he was last week. He was a member of one of the franchises in the Alliance of American Football, which
Bill
is playing
Poland.
in the spring.
Yeah,
he got drafted
for the Memphis,
he was on
wasn't
the
it? Memphis team.
Yeah, Memphis. That was that'd be
Mike Singletary's team.
Yeah, there you go. And so he was. And then he gets a call last Tuesday or whenever from the Redskins, and he was playing in a game Sunday, and now he's starting this week, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is he the one who was a John Gruden draft pick in Tampa, or is that a different player?
He was a Harbaugh. I believe he's University of San Diego.
Right.
And he went to San Francisco.
Okay.
Harbaugh.
Yeah.
He probably played for Harbaugh at San Diego, maybe.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
So that's how he knew him. Yeah.
Tough break for Washington this year.
Don't feel bad for them.
I'm not. I'm just saying it can
just
go one of two ways for you. You know.
You know, back on Sean Lee for just a second. You know, you look at his games played this year, which was the opener against Carolina, and then he played against the Giants and Seattle. So the first 3 games, okay. Then he was out until the Washington game, week 7, and bye week, and then Tennessee went out early third quarter of that game after not playing a lot in the first half of that game. And so you wonder, so it was 3 games injured, 1.5 games injured.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing on him is he's not going to be 100%, you wouldn't think. Okay.
He's probably but is he
maybe the rest of his life.
Is he physically as healthy as he's going to be?
Right. And so I think the big question is, what are the percentages of him re-injuring it? And you don't want him to re-injure it. And
if that's the case, then you feel great about what you got
right
with the other guys.
Right.
I mean, let's if these trainers and doctors are saying that he's healthy enough to practice and try and play in this game, that's all you need to know.
Right.
They're not going to put hurt players out there to practice, and everybody's banged up. Yeah, Rob's absolutely right about that. But you've got to you're now 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
See, and I want to,
and I know guys are different, but they've I think that they've, to me, it's like that they've been really cautious with this thing.
And even in training camp,
over to the point. I mean, they're really trying to get him back.
See, I'd like to know, was it just a deal in training camp, where a precautionary thing, or was he dealing with something in training camp, and that's why he wasn't able to do anything?
He was dealing with something.
Yeah, it's OTAs, the mini camps. They were trying. There were a lot of guys they weren't doing anything with, and I mean, he's got to be frustrated. Mm-hmm. He's got to be He's got to be frustrated. But it would be nice to see him be able to play here the last month of the season and into the playoffs. I mean, I'm not saying anything you guys don't already know.
You know what? I'm not looking at this from an injury standpoint, because if he's out there now practicing, he's fine.
He's fine. They're not going to put a hurt guy on the field.
Now,
I'm just telling you that.
Is his body ready to play football with one padded practice?
Right.
That's the question. And you don't want to send somebody out there, because today is shells, Friday, no pads. Is he ready to play a game and throw his body in there?
And that's kind of where I was going. If you get through this whole week and he still feels good, and you get up to game time and he's ready, then cool. But it's been 6 weeks, and it is something that, again, it goes all the way back to training camp. I am trying to kind of look at the big picture, too, and say this has happened twice. Let's not push it just to get to this game when the odds are in your favor to win this division at some point in the next 3 weeks.
And so you want him in the playoffs available.
Yeah. But Brian's right. If he's on the field, he's obviously at a point where he can practice and be in position to play.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rob. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of caught between, I want to see him play. And I know the trainers are putting him out there because he's healthy enough to participate in practice. But I'm also thinking it's Sean Lee, and Sean Lee has gone through this before, where he hasn't had, he's had time off and he's had to come back and play. Now, earlier in the year, it wasn't successful, but I think that they've just allowed enough time here I'm anxious to see if this works out.
I don't think they play any sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I think this thing comes down to a trainer decision.
And it should. It should.
I think that's the decision.
It should.
If they say, hey, no problem whatsoever, go.
Yes.
But if they say, you know what, I think he needs another week just to make sure, then no.
See, that's the hard decision they're going to have to make as a group because they don't, and it's going to sound odd, they don't know that because Sean Lee does not have a great history of coming back after injury. Something else happens. And so now you have that. When is enough time? Is 7 weeks enough time on this injury?
Also,
is 8 weeks enough time on this injury?
And the type of injury it is.
Soft
tissue. It's not a bone or something that's healed. It's something that, can be pulled again.
Look at Philadelphia had to deal with Sproles. I mean, he missed most of the year, with this. And I trust the trainers and the doctors here. I really, really do. When do you know about Sean Lee? When do you know? Unless he plays, when do you know?
I think they know now. It's a matter of, is he ready to play football? Not is his hamstrings ready to play football.
That's a better way to say it.
Ready to play football.
Well said, Mickey.
And wrap up the discussion on Sean Lee, his snap counts in the games he has played in this season, because a lot of people are concerned, you can't take snaps away from Leighton Vander Esch. 59 snaps against Carolina, 41 against the Giants, 36 against Seattle. Then after coming back against Washington, 38 snaps, and then 17 against Tennessee before he left early in the third quarter. So he was on pace for another 35-snap game there. So that's how they've used him in the past.
But the one before he missed was an injury. He didn't finish the game. Before the first time he missed.
In the Seattle game.
Yeah.
Okay, we continue and take your calls here on Talking Cowboys. And just how hot is this Indianapolis team the Cowboys are going up against when we come back?
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island, alone. Glass-like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean. Fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Nestle the boys in Tommy John, the softest, most supportive underwear out there. They're feature-packed, they feel amazing, and if you disagree, they're backed by the best pair you'll ever wear or their free guarantee. Plus, shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
Very nicely done, Rob Phillips. Where's my read? My script is still not here. I think
the gamer guys
orders are still.
We come in here, the headphones are all twisted up, the volume's messed up.
Gamer guys,
they
man.
take our reads.
They're the best.
I'm going to assume that Dallas Cowboys Academy and Dallas Cowboys Cheerleader Academy applications are still being taken.
Absolutely. Go on the website and figure it out.
All right.
Kaboom, Texas, May 10th through 12th at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
Yep.
We used to have all that stuff laying there. Now they've moved all that stuff off the little end table over there.
Well, what are we going to do about that, Mickey?
Just walk out that door and raise some hell at 10:30.
I'm going to talk to Douglas. He's kind of in charge. Him and Kent are in charge of this.
Douglas here.
Throw them under the bus.
Yes.
Hey, Kent is hard at work. He's taking the call from Jim in California, who's first up on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Jim.
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm Bill.
Oh, Bill. Sorry, Bill.
Good morning, Chuck.
My headphones are all screwed up.
Yeah, so are ours.
I wish I could see how hard.
Please, just got to say that one. Got to say that.
How Mickey and Rob are laughing right now.
Well, they should be. I made a mistake. They should be.
Go ahead, Jeff.
So far, Sean Lee, I say if he's healthy, let him play 5 to 10 snaps in the first game and know that we're trying to get him ready for the playoffs. And I was looking at Indianapolis, and the first thing that jumped out at me was how their defense is so similar to the Cowboys.
Same scheme.
And I was hoping that maybe you guys could go around and compare the defense to the defense unit by unit, and who do you like on us? Maybe make an all-star team between the two defenses.
Oh, that's
see how we compare. I think that would be fun. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Bob, why don't you start us off?
I want Ricky to start.
I don't know why that's so funny. And nothing against anybody named Bob. It was
in South Lake, there's a Bob Jones Park, and I tell people it's Bill Jones Park.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's like, the joke when it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to play against 4 guys named Bob. You know?
I think the Cowboys are better in the secondary when I look at the two teams. So I really wouldn't. I would take Malik Hooker as a free safety on this team. But as far as anybody else there, I think the Cowboys will have the advantage there. I think if you look at linebacker, Matthew Adams and Anthony Walker and Leonard Davis is Darius Leonard. I've got this now. I'm messing up names too.
Hope he's not as big as Leonard Davis.
Yeah, exactly. Darius Leonard, I think could definitely play on this football team.
Okay, so let's say you had Darius Leonard, Leighton Vander Esch, and Jalen Smith.
Yeah, and they got Darius Leonard playing the weak linebacker. So yeah, that would be.
So let's say Eberflus had Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, and Darius Leonard. How would he employ those 3 linebackers?
I'll tell you what, because you got 2 of the top tacklers in the league. You'd have to Leonard. I think could start. I mean, Leonard is every bit as good as Leighton Vander Esch is.
Hey, Bill Polian, who obviously a Hall of Fame GM, and he still keeps very close tabs on what's going on in Indianapolis since he was there for years. I've heard him the other day talking about Darius Leonard, and he fell a little short of going ahead and already putting him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But he was talking.
Well, the Colts don't have a lot of members in their Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. I think it's Chris Hinton and Jim Harbaugh, and I got a couple wide receivers are probably up there. But yeah, this guy's well on his way that way. This guy's a special player, much like Leighton Vander Esch. If you want to see if you've seen Leighton Vander Esch play all year, this is what Darius Leonard is. Same type of player. Run, hit, never come off the field, plays well in pass coverage. Everything you want in a linebacker, range, physicality, all that is the same type of guy.
Would you take the Hot Boys over their defensive front?
I tell you what, though, I think I would. And that's where, I think that to me, if you look at across the line with Autry, Hunt, Woods, and Shred, I would think that I would take the Cowboys and what but not to say they're a team that the way they get pressure, it's the same way the Cowboys do. They'll blitz with the slots, they'll blitz with the linebackers, they'll try and create some mismatches up front with some twist game things that they want to do. And I talked about Margus Hunt, who they got from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's like a 6 man. He remember from SMU, Bill, right. Probably 6'7" guy. and he plays as a defensive tackle, and they put him in the middle, and it's kind of like with David Irving. You push the middle, you get your hands up, you knock passes down, and you create. He's not the athlete of a David Irving, but I would take the Hot Boys over this crew. I would take their linebacker for sure, and I would take Malik Hooker as my free safety.
All right, one other question on Darius Leonard, because, you look at his stat line, and in 12 starts, he's got an interception. He's got just according to Pro Football Reference, 135 tackles. They probably got him for a lot more from their coach's film. But anyway.
Let's find out.
And 7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles.
Right.
For a will linebacker in that scheme to have 7 sacks. So how are they using it? They're rushing him.
They're rushing
a lot.
him. Yeah, they're blitzing. It's very similar to what you see with how the Cowboys use Jalen Smith.
Yep.
You attack the pocket. It is. When the Cowboys practice, usually with scout team, you have to hold up cards to say, okay, this is the scheme. This is the Cowboys could walk in the huddle and call a defense, and on down and distance wise, and call their defense. And they could run it without the cards. The players automatically know, okay, it's over cover 2. Okay, ready break. Okay, they're getting over cover 2, and they're showing the offense. It's similar. It's scary to watch. And it's funny because Eberflus was influenced by Rob Ryan in that administration, but now he's a 4-3 guy. It's more now about with Rod Marinelli, what Rod Marinelli's doing, the single high stuff that Mickey likes to play. That's where that's where Eberflus is going with his defense.
Just speed.
Yep.
So they have him down for 135 total tackles, 7 sacks, 11 tackles for losses, 8 quarterback hits, an interception, 4 passes defense, 4 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. So let me ask this. When you're scheming against a defense, I understand how you can scheme against the guys on the front.
Right.
And I understand how you can scheme against this corner, that corner.
Right.
How do you scheme, not their system, but how do you scheme against a linebacker like even Van Der Esch? How do people say, okay, here's how we're going to handle Van Der Esch?
Yeah.
So how do you handle a weak side linebacker who's not stationary?
Yeah.
You could be coming.
Yeah, that's the problem. And what you try and do is, especially in pass protection, you think about, okay, do you set your front to his side? Do you say, okay, wherever he is, do you identify, usually in this scheme, they identify who the Mike linebacker is. But in this case, you identify where he is, and then you try and slide your protection.
Okay, but what about the running?
The running, then you got to hope for just second-level blocks. If you get,
he can make plays all over the field.
If you could control the front with the combo blocks, and then, but now it's even more imperative to get, if you're going to do combo blocks, to get a guy to chip and then to go. And you can't, sometimes you get, okay, secure the down lineman at 1,001, 1,002, and then go. It's more like chip it and go. You can't hang there that extra count, because what happens is linebackers like Van Der Esch and Smith, the guy at the Bears, those guys all run so well that you can't hang on down blocks. And the offensive line coaches will tell you, get the down blocks first, get the line first, and then let the back have to deal with the linebackers. That's why some of these guys, the Rams, the guy here, they have success because they're able to make that linebacker miss initially and then get more yards. But you're dealing with a guy, as you said, Mickey, that makes a ton of tackles.
Kind of like having to deal with Kuechly in week 1.
Yeah, you got to make. If you leave, great example, Rob. You leave Kuechly unblocked. What happens? He stops you. What should have been a 7-yard gain turns into no gain or a -1 because you don't get your tackle up on the second level to get him.
And that was the problem in week 1 too.
The philosophy of that scheme is to keep that guy protected.
Right.
So let him run. Get to him.
Right.
Let him run to the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you run away from him? You run at him?
Well, the thing, I don't think you could just. Sometimes you let guys just go. You just say, okay, he's not going to catch the play. This guy, you can't do that. So maybe you say, okay, I'm going to let one of these outside. Toure is a guy that they have, Kamiko Toure. And that guy is. maybe you let him run from the backside and then go and get somebody else. You just let you leave somebody. You really can't block everybody, but you have to make sure you secure the guys that are on that can hurt you, and he definitely can hurt you. I mean, there's no question this game. If he goes unblocked, he'll have just as many tackles as Van Der Esch and Smith. I mean, that's proven. That you don't need a scout to tell you that.
Danico Autry has 8 sacks in 8 starts.
Yeah.
So
he's another one. I mean, again, they move the front. This is a group that's going to attack gaps. It's very similar to what the Cowboys do. Get up the field, attack a gap. Use the twist stunts. Yeah, it's a nice defense, and they've done a great job because, like Rob said, they've got a lot of speed. They got guys that can run on this defense.
I wonder what's the advantage? Is it an advantage, more of an advantage for Eberflus to kind of know the personnel here and how they do things offensively, or for this offense to watch this defense on film and say, we're familiar with this. Our defense is very
they practice
similar.
Against it every day.
I mean, it may be kind of a stalemate thing.
We all stand there in Oxnard, every day, twice a day for a month, and they practice against that defense is what they do.
There's got to be somewhat of a comfort level when you watch them on film.
Well, at least
a little bit.
A comfort level for the quarterback. Think about, it's different personnel, it's a different, uniform and stuff, but it's the same idea, it's the same scheme. Right. Scott Linehan can come into this game and say, okay, if I show him this is how he's going to counter it. This is how he's going to play it, And I think that helps. When they get Dak prepared this week, okay, Malik Hooker is going to be right in the center of the field. Okay, this is what this corner's. He sees it every day. So it's not something where like you're playing these the Rob Ryans of the world or the old Buddy Ryans or anybody like that had multiple Bill Belichick that had multiple looks and things like that. The Colts are what they are. I don't think they're going to switch up much on you. I really don't. I think they rely on their personnel to get them stops.
Do you notice anything with this Eberflus defense that is different from the Cowboys in terms of him being the coordinator, being more aggressive or anything? I mean, I'm looking at a lot of players with tackles for loss.
Yeah,
on this team.
but that's kind of what we were talking about, though. The slant, the front, the twist, the things like that. He's going to take some risks. He's going to take some risks during the games, but it's calculated risk. I brought up Rob Ryan for a reason,
right?
Because if you remember the Rob Ryan administration, though, it was 10 men on the field, it was chaos, it was not being where you're supposed to be
because he was multiple, and there were a lot of different looks, and sometimes it was too complicated.
Sometimes you just best to line up and play football, and he's got guys that can line up and play football. I mean, they do. They probably, the one thing I know is different than the Cowboys, they probably blitz more secondary guys than the Cowboys do. You see more of slot blitz. And we were seeing that.
Although we're seeing more of it this year with Richard.
Yeah, with Richard, exactly. But I think you see a lot more slot blitz, and you see a lot more of their safeties attack in the middle of the pocket too on blitzes. You know how they play Heath up when they go single high? We don't always see Heath blitz. We see Heath cover more. We don't see Woods blitz. These guys are more willing to take that safety that they walk up and put him in a gap.
Well, they better watch out for those Cowboy tight ends if they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm. And you better do the same to theirs.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's interesting with Chris Richard coming in here as in the pass game coordinator and secondary coach. Of course, Eberflus was the pass game coordinator and linebackers coach last year. But the dynamic between Richard and Marinelli as compared to what Marinelli and Eberflus had here, in that Marinelli obviously is giving more freedom to Richard as far as.
But I think he also gave some freedom to
Eberflus, and that happened
I think
a couple of years before.
Yeah, I think that's why you see Eberflus is having the success that he is having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or that you look at their defense and you say, oh, okay, I get it. I see. Matt Eberflus was a hell of a football coach.
Right.
I really did. I had a lot of respect for him.
They really wanted to keep him.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
And
he would have liked to have stayed, but
great opportunity.
You got a job as a defensive coordinator someplace. You got to jump at it.
Give Frank Reich some credit because Frank Reich could have just said, "No, I'm bringing my own guy." Remember this? Eberflus was going to be a part of the Josh McDaniels administration, and
that's right.
And Josh McDaniels got cold feet. They basically, Matt interviewed for the job. Everybody liked Matt, and they were hired. They hired him, and then all of a sudden
he got hired before the head coach.
And then so
who does that?
Yeah. But
2007.
But it was done, and but give Frank Reich some credit for saying, "Listen, I trust what the front office and the people tell me about this guy," and it's worked out for Reich. It really, really has.
Mm-hmm. Really. Trained well at the University of Missouri. Eberflus.
He was. Oh, I thought you were talking about Frank Reich. Yeah. I was like, wait a second, he wasn't there. And the Colts are 7-6, and they've won 6 of their last 7 games.
They have.
Riding a hot streak.
Bad
right
start.
now.
Why'd they lose all those at the beginning?
Oh, why'd the Cowboys lose 3 of 5?
Well, I know that, but why did they do it?
Well, I think a lot of their stuff had to do with the quarterback situation.
It wasn't healthy still?
Wasn't healthy is what he needed to be, and they've got that ship righted there. This game could very well come down to the Cowboys' ability to be able to create some type of pressure, because this offense is very much we'll take what we can get from you kind of, and if you play a lot of zone, it'll just be 7-yard pass, 7-yard pass, 7-yard pass, that kind of thing. So I'd be very mindful of how do you create some type of pressure. There's people who feel like that this line, and they haven't given it many sacks. I think Mickey said it was 16 yesterday.
Yes.
They've had games where they haven't given up hits. They haven't even given up a hit to the quarterback. And, but this is a different challenge for them. I don't believe they played a defense, well, with the exception of maybe the Houston Texans that are capable of getting that type of pressure.
Early in the season, they lost to Philly by 4. They lost to Houston in overtime. They lost to New England. A
decision by Reich. He went for it, remember, on his own end of the field.
Yep. Lost to New England.
That back.
And then they lost to the New York Jets.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
All right, so dive deeper into this little winning streak they've had. Okay, win number 1 in the streak, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Win number 2 at Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Win number 3, Jacksonville. Win number 4, Tennessee. Give them credit there. In fact, they blew out Tennessee, 38-10.
Yeah.
Then at Miami. Then they lost to Jacksonville 6-0, and then they beat Houston. They played more quality teams lately, with the possible exception of Jacksonville.
Jacksonville was a strange game for them because they turned over the football, and they went for it on 4th and 1 at the 1. Like I said, they tried to run a shovel pass. They got stuffed. So they went for it. They were trying to get it. They were trying to score 6 early in the game in a 0-0 game. But they had some turnovers. Look through an interception, a bad interception in that game too. A couple of turnovers on the Jacksonville side of the 50 watching that game. So get them turn it over. You always got a chance. Except you're the Cowboys. Turn over the ball, you seem to win games, which is kind of crazy.
That's right. All right, we continue with more of Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for a little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup. And now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Boy, do I have the perfect stocking stuffer for you for Christmas. Get Jack Black, the playmaker. You get 4 of their faves. And
is the music like overly loud?
In these nice, small.
No, he's overly loud.
And you get to put them in one of these cowboy koozies.
Can you start over?
No, I'm going. I'm rolling.
He's rolling. Yeah.
And all you have to do is go to getjackblack.com/cowboys, and that playmaker combination comes up. You order it. You pay $10, free shipping. And I already received my first order for a stocking stuffer for somebody.
Nobody's
so
more excited
go
than
to
the koozie.
Getjackblack.com. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Mikey
Why do you want me to
Spags.
start over? I was rolling until you guys told me I was too loud.
Well, I tell you what, it opened loud. It did. I just felt like the music was loud. But
Solid red from Mickey.
He gets excited.
That's right. You got to get people's attention. You
Mic
can't
check.
come in here with a weak voice.
You know what? I ran out of my Jack Black yesterday.
Oh
no!
Which product did you? Which one?
Whatever I do my hair with.
Oh,
shampoo.
Want me to send you a fave?
I think I got some left. I'll put an order in for you. I think I got some left.
What I need is the beard lube.
I got some. Yeah, I got some extra ones.
Oh man, I haven't had the beard lube.
You know what you
for
need?
a while.
You got a little salt and pepper thing going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Get the larger one too.
Oh yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah,
because it'll last you a while.
Yeah, and it comes in a bottle with one of those pumps on it.
Right. Right. Do y'all shave in the shower?
Yes.
Waste a lot of water doing that.
You don't shave in the shower?
No.
I shave. The reason I shave in the shower is because of the beard lube from Jack Black.
Yeah.
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 It's great.
It is great.
Just put a little on your fingertips.
Okay.
Show us again there, Mickey.
I think once was enough.
All right, you want to dive into the Indianapolis Colts offense for a second here?
Yeah.
The strength of this offense,
What would you like to know
Andrew
about
Luck.
Captain Andrew Luck is.
They seem to be rather strong on third down there, Brian.
They are strong, and a lot of it has to do because they get in some situations I talked about with Eric Ebron. Great get by them from the Detroit Lions. Starting to play much like what the Lions thought he was capable of. I think he was the 10th overall pick in that draft, and so he's totally quarterback friendly there. You're going to have to figure out him. Is it the multiple coverages that we've seen, the linebackers? Is it Jeff Heath, Byron Jones? We'll see. I mean, all kinds of opportunities to play him, but you have to take care of that. Their offensive line, they've built it the right way. They've got a couple of young rookies with Quentin Nelson, one of my favorite players from last year's draft, and then Braden Smith, who was a guard tackle at Auburn. He's a second-round pick. He's their starting right tackle. He's done a really, really nice job. They've been a little banged up though at the right guard spot with Glowinski there. So we'll see how that shakes out. But
their center missed last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
By the way, he didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah.
The center or Glowinski?
Glowinski did not practice.
The center was limited.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a good center.
He is a real good center.
Yep.
And T.Y. Hilton didn't practice.
Well, that
sounds like
Veteran Day.
They're managing him kind of like Zeke, probably.
Yeah, because I had him on my fantasy team, and he was questionable going into Sunday, and I had to check on him on Sunday morning. He was fine. He went for 199 yards against the Texans.
Yeah.
So he was just fine.
He was fine.
Yeah,
and in fact, if you look at his last 4 games, he is averaging 140 yards receiving a game the last 4 games.
You have to be, I could say, nickel and dime you to death and then something over the top. And that's what they did. They had a huge play against the Texans last week on that, coming off the right side there where he just, they went play action and just launched it, and he was able to run under it. So you have to be ready for that. It's going to be a receiving group that doesn't have a lot of big names. We've kind of seen the Cowboys play against teams that haven't had, they've had one star, and then everybody else has been kind of a guy, but it's a capable group with Ryan Grant and then also Zach Pascal as well, and then this Rogers is another guy.
Chester Rogers.
You got to worry
42 catches on the year.
Yeah, got to worry a little bit about him, but they don't run the ball all that much. It's like a lot like the Philadelphia Eagle offense, where we saw last week with the inside handoff stuff. You're not going to get, Luck is going to run a little bit. He's not going to run a lot. But you do get the inside handoff. The ball's going sideways a lot. They're going to try and capture the corner and get around the edge. Keep an eye on Nyheim Hines, who is, we talked about him a bunch on the draft show. He's from North Carolina State. He's 5'9". He's 196 pounds. Probably not an every down back, but he's a guy that Mickey would like to have in this team where you could throw the ball to him. You can hand the ball to him. He's kind of a jack of all trades player. Young guy that really has done a nice job for them of making some plays. So it's a very patient offense that will take some shots, and they've got skill guys that catch the ball well. T.Y. Hilton is one of the best that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of players at wide receivers that can play in a small area. You talk about not needing a lot of room to catch a football, whether it's along the sidelines, whether it's the corner of the end zone, on the pylons, wherever. This guy is one of those best tight window players that I've ever seen. So Cowboys secondary is going to have their hands full with him, and they're going to have their hands full as well with Eric Ebron, the tight end.
Yeah, as a red zone threat too.
Yeah.
A guy that can,
12 touchdowns, something like that.
Yeah, for an offense here that has struggled scoring and manufacturing points down there, might be able to have to match that this Sunday.
Yeah.
You look at Luck and coming back from the shoulder injury last year. He is putting up numbers this year that are as good as any in his career. In fact, his completion percentage is 68%, which is the highest in his career. He's got 34 touchdown passes. His career high was 40 in 2014, so he's on a pace to at least equal that. His interceptions are at 13. He's always been more of a high interception guy.
That's true.
And but as you said, his sacks are down, just 16 sacks, and he's had seasons when he has been sacked 41 times, a couple of times in his career.
He has, and if we go back, the last team I think you played that gave up minimal sacks was the Saints, and the Cowboys were able to generate some pressure off that. So if you're looking to maybe hang your hat on something going into this football game, you remember what you did against the Saints, the way you affected their receivers, their tight end, and then you were able to get pressure on their quarterback that way.
And against an offensive line that was one of the better ones in the league.
One of the better ones in the league. And this one's doing a very good job with at least with the protection aspect of things.
All right, let's go to Brian in Florida. You're next up on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Brian.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good to get in touch with you guys again. Hey, my question is on Tavon Austin. What's his role going to be? I'm assuming he'll immediately become the returner, replacing Beasley.
Yep.
But with Coop in the offense, other than just gadget plays, bubble screens, and sweeps, does he have any role in the offense?
How about How about your back? How about a backup running back? Yeah, we've kind of talked about what's been. I know that Rod Smith has been a guy that's always been, but maybe this guy has carried the ball out of the backfield. And maybe you find ways to. If you're going to take Ezekiel Elliott off the field a couple different ways, a couple times a game, why not hand the ball to Tavon Austin playing maybe a toss sweep, off tackle stuff? The guy's shown some tremendous toughness running the football for the Rams, but I think he's your Desmond Howard. That's who I compare him to. I'm thinking down the stretch in Green Bay, we won the Super Bowl in '96. You had to have a guy that could flip the field, and Desmond Howard was one of the great weapons to ever play when it came to that. And I think that as much as this defense is making people punt the football, you need somebody who can make you flip the field. And I think he can do that. I would use him as a running back. I would continue on with the jet sweeps, the screens, whatever you have to do. This guy's an explosive player. I think we saw that in the games that he did play.
Yeah, that was our mailbag question this morning, was how do they use Tavon Austin? Our answers, to me, he's such a unique player and can do so many different things for you.
Great skill set.
It's easier to bring a guy like that back and find a role for him because it's not like somebody has stepped in and done exactly what he can do. And as a receiver, too, I think he was only getting about 20 snaps a game before he got
throwing
hurt.
The ball to him down the field. Remember that. Some of the games, he was making plays down the field.
This is another guy with speed that can help stretch the defense, along with the way Michael Gallup has stepped up. And now put him on the field with Amari Cooper.
Absolutely.
Kind of see, make defenses choose.
Put him inside of Amari Cooper if you want.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they use him now with Amari Cooper in this offense too. You
got to get this guy on the field.
Yep.
Yeah, and now how do you get him on the field? Maybe it's like they're going to have to keep all the guys, all those receivers active that they need because they all play. But maybe you're going to have to look at some other positions.
Oh, you mean as far as sitting somebody down?
Yeah, sitting somebody down.
Yeah.
Do you sit a Joe Thomas? Do you sit Thompson the safety? Do you I don't know necessarily it's going to say, okay, do you sit Lance Lenoir? Because Lance Lenoir, you have guys that don't play special teams or play a lot of special teams that are playing on, offensive and defensive roles. So you need special teams players, and there might be a fight to not have to. There might be a fight that won't allow you. It will allow you not to have to sit Lance Lenoir.
Well,
I'm trying to say there.
If you get Sean Lee back, you might not have to have Covington.
Covington already doesn't dress. He didn't dress last week.
Well, then he won't dress anymore.
He's been active.
There's going to be some healthy scratches here. Get ready. It might be Reed might be a healthy scratch. Possibilities like that. You think about Joe Thomas could be a possibility. I threw out Alan Hearns maybe is a healthy scratch, depending on what you want to do. Thompson, the safety, might be a healthy scratch. It's gonna come to the point now where maybe David Irving would be the only guy that's going to be an injury guy that you have to deal with right now as a scratch.
Well, you still got Swaim.
Taco, Swaim, exactly. Yeah. Taco's another guy that Taco's got to practice better.
Mm-hmm. He's got to beat somebody out.
Yep.
He's got to beat out Armstrong now.
Yep. That's exactly right.
That's right.
Exactly right.
All right, Mickey, just a couple of minutes left here. And
I have no idea.
Tomorrow is a combined show.
Yes.
As Brian and Rob will be on a combined show tomorrow.
9 a.m. with David.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
Nate and David Hellman. We're doing one show tomorrow, so we'll do our picks then. Yeah.
So, Mickey, you don't have any idea who's going to win this game, huh?
I do not.
Okay.
You got to pick, Bob?
How are we going to find out?
You got to pick?
I'll go ahead and make my pick.
You going to roll with your 12-game winning streak?
Of course I'm going to roll with my 12-game winning streak. There has been nothing in the last 5 games that would suggest that I should choose otherwise, right, Mickey?
Bill has
absolutely
that
agree
hotel
with
room
you.
Booked in Atlanta.
Well, I've got that booked regardless if the Cowboys are there or not because it's on CBS this year. We're going to be there.
25 years ago we were in Atlanta.
That's exactly right. Oh, there's another little prophetic comment there that 25 years later, the Cowboys are going to be back in Atlanta for the Super Bowl. There you go. And to do that, they need to beat Indianapolis on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm going 23-16, a Cowboys victory. They don't have to get to 24 this week.
All right.
They just have to get to 20. Well, they have to get to 17.
What worries you the most about this game?
Andrew Luck does, but
pressure again, or blitzing and all that stuff.
The
a lot of sounds like they had a lot of sacks going on there, didn't they? A lot of different sackers.
Yeah, and this team, the Cowboys, have shown mental toughness in coming with their, as they put it, their backs against the wall.
Yep.
Well, now they are on the cusp of a division title. How do they deal with success?
Yeah.
And that's their mindset going into this game is a concern.
Playing better on the road now, too.
Yeah.
Mother, I'm really worried about this game.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mickey. Close us out with
26-23 Cowboys.
All right.
Very
the 23
good.
Worked last week for me. I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
Expecting the guy to make a field goal.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You can get to 26 other ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of us will talk to you tomorrow.
He's
13
like a winner.
You can miss an extra point.
Join us tomorrow, please.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.